Trades 9,882 on the index right now. It's flattish for the broader universe as well. Lots on the market's mind with respect to the developments across the globe, as well as the tensions between India and China as we speak. Names like Infratel, M&M, Power Grid, Shree Cements and Hero MotoCorp are down, but it's just a measured cut in trade. Well, let's get a move on and talk a little bit about what the impact of the lockdown and the pandemic has been on trading volumes. Has there been completely smooth functioning when it comes to India's oldest exchange, which is the Bombay Stock Exchange? Ashish Chauhan, Managing Director and CEO at the BSE, now joins in on the show. Thank you so much for taking time out, and here's hoping that everyone in your team is staying safe. To begin with, let's talk about how the trading volumes have been through the lockdown, and has there been completely smooth functioning of the services despite these tough times?
Basically, the way we look at it is on March 23rd, when it was announced, it was also very clear that we'll have to keep the markets open because the rest of the world was also keeping the markets open. So we ended up keeping the markets open. Initially, everyone was confused about how to move and things like that. But eventually, with the help of all state governments, central ministries and regulator, all the brokers and all settled down. There were some degradation of services towards the client level because the banks and everyone had to pitch in, because exchanges are ecosystems. On their own, they may have 1,000 people or 2,000 people working, but overall, there are millions working across the country. And so we had to take everyone along. It took a lot of coordination, but we never had to stop for a moment the trading at BSE, or the settlements got delayed, or no such event happened over the last 2.5 months. And I think that is basically the testimony of India's technological prowess, even in the remotest areas, because our members are in 2,000 to 3,000 cities with 200 to 300,000 terminals. And everyone is working since beginning. Of course, there are people on mobile and other areas, but effectively, the entire machinery worked very smoothly. BSE, touchwood, does not have any issue relating to the infection, but that's in a way, we have taken a lot of precautions, but you never know what happens in the future.
Oh yes, of course, and fingers crossed that things continue to remain absolutely safe and continue to work smoothly, because we have seen a lot of participation, a lot of fervor in the markets even through these very tough times. So let's talk about the planned dividend distribution. What is in place regarding this, Mr. Chauhan?
In terms of BSE's own dividend distribution, we have declared our dividends. Our AGM will be at the end of next month. Our annual reports and all should be reaching the investors of BSE, people who have invested in BSE shares, towards the month end or early next month. So effectively, it's all planned, and once the dividend is approved, it will be deposited in the accounts of the shareholders. It's 17 rupees per share that has been declared as the dividend.
Mr. Chauhan, I must say I really like your Zoom backdrop. Firstly, how apt is that? But moving on, wanted to understand how's been the performance of the Star Mutual Fund platform been, both from the retail end and from the mutual industry as well, mutual fund industry, that is.
Star MF started around 10 years back, 2009 end, and it has really picked up. Initially, we were not even getting few thousand orders a month, but now on good days we would be getting 11-12 lakh orders a day. On an average, we are now collecting almost 65-66% of the entire industry's equity inflows, which is very, very large. And in even SIPs, we are the 35% of the industry's SIP in terms of value in equities. So it's basically a very retail network that has come up, almost 57,000 direct IFAs and more than 200,000 indirect IFAs, because there are large distributors and brokers who have their own distribution network. So effectively, this has become the industry standard. Pretty much all the mutual funds are being ordered. This is an order routing platform. It's not a trading platform. for open-ended funds. And that's where everyone is connected, from the RTAs to the payment processors to the banks, and of course the AMCs. So everyone is pretty much enjoying this, and BSE has been gaining market share because of its technology and its services that has been there. Of course, we have seen many distributors which were not even in the mutual fund distribution few years back are doing a huge amount of transactions a month now. And out of top 5, I think 2 did not exist 5 years back in mutual fund industry. So that's the kind of power that the BSE as a backend. We are the way, if I look at it, I think somebody said that we are the Intel inside of the mutual fund industry's distribution. We are the distribution. The people, basically what you see outside are the brand names which ride on the infrastructure we have created. And that is what we are pretty happy about.
Just to take a leaf out of that as well, Mr. Chauhan, data after data seems to be suggesting that in the last 3 months of the COVID-led lockdown, we've seen a large surge in retail participation coming back to the markets. We were just chatting with ICICI Direct yesterday, and they said a lot of new account openings, volume build-up is what they are witnessing. Help us understand what's been your own experience when it comes to the equity derivative as well as the cash segments and the volumes that you're seeing transactionally happen over there.
Equities market and derivatives, of course, BSE does not have much derivatives and equities, but the currencies and equities market on BSE have handled reasonably large volumes compared to previous years. And that's basically telling you that Indian markets in terms of volumes have done well. We recently started the commodities options on goods. Earlier, the options were allowed in commodities only on the futures. And we did not have a good futures market because we were allowed only recently. But in options now, yesterday we crossed 1,500 crore a day mark. We started only 2.5 weeks back. And we have already reached 1,500 crore a day mark. We have become the largest, second largest commodities exchange in India. And the third large exchange is 1/3 of our size now. So effectively, we are gaining ground in certain areas. In equity derivatives, we have just now launched, or we are going to launch the Sensex 50 stock index, which is basically similar to what is currently traded, and the numbers you keep on mentioning. It's around 300-400 points different, but otherwise 50 stocks there are, and it moves very similarly. In India International Exchange at Gandhinagar Gift City, we trade that, and it trades heavily there. And so we thought we'll try a Sensex 50, which is in a way similar numbers. It's popular at those numbers and so on and so forth. So we thought we'll launch that and we'll see how it works. Currently, in equities, we are pretty confident and comfortable over the last 2-3 months that volumes have not dipped. Currencies have pretty much remained where they were. And of course, India International Exchange has started doing well in terms of the market share. It is almost 92% market share on the GIFT City basis. But even in the Indian rupee, US dollar transactions that were allowed 3 weeks back and inaugurated by Honorable Finance Minister, now India International Exchange in GIFT City is almost 1/2 of the DGCX's volumes in USD INR contracts. So effectively, there is all-round progress. We also started insurance distribution during COVID times. Not many people venture out to do newer things, but we started insurance distribution on a beta basis with insurance distribution company, a joint venture between BSE and EBIX called BSE EBIX Insurance Distribution. And there we started with auto insurance distribution. We recently started health insurance. We will also go into life and other insurance areas. And so we are pretty much using the distribution sort of expertise we have to move forward. We also started eKYC due to the COVID situation that brokers are not able to enroll newer members easily. So we started eKYC even for smaller brokers, because large brokers have created their own eKYC framework, but the smaller brokers, IFAs, mutual funds, they are not able to do that because their IFAs are very small. And so for them, we have created a single platform where all of them can actually use our platform to do eKYC. So we have gone into many areas over last few months. And the amount of fundraising that has happened is also phenomenal. The commercial paper, bonds, even equities, total money put together just in the lockdown from March 23 to June 7 was in excess of 3.29 lakh crore. And so we think, of course, the IPOs are still not coming last 3-4 years. And also the small cap stocks have not done well, which are both cash cows for BSE IPOs and the small cap stocks. But overall, today we are in a more comfortable position in terms of our newer ventures. Some of them are have started showing good revenues. Some of them will end up becoming much larger than what they are today.
Yeah, that's quite a journey you've got planned for yourself. But when it comes to purely the equity segment, Ashish, just wanted to understand whether or not you're seeing a specific surge in volumes, because we've all known from March to now how volatile the market has been. What's been your takeaway and reading of purely the equity segment and the kind of volume traction that you're seeing there?
Come into the market, there has been slight upsurge, a slight increase in the volumes on equities. In fact, BSE also reached a landmark of 5 crore UCC, unique client code registered on its platform, which is almost double the nearest exchange. So effectively, we see a lot of people coming into the market, not only for equities, trading part of it, because people are sitting at home doing nothing, so they want to trade. But for me, even for mutual funds investment, for bonds and other things, sovereign gold bonds. And so we think it's a broad-based activity where more people are getting interested in equities. And one of the reasons has been that equities markets, in fact, the entire all markets, organized markets in India continue to run despite the lockdown. They provided the liquidity in the worst of times because there were demands to close down markets. The government did not agree to that. And that allowed people who were in need of funds to sell their assets like stocks or mutual fund units, collect their money, use it for other purposes. And that would not have been possible if you had closed down the market. So there is a tremendous trust that has built up in terms of the market's ability to provide you liquidity, albeit at a lower price. In a way, the market asset prices had gone down. But then they started going up also. Imagine if you had closed down the market for 2-3 months, the panic that would have been there and the kind of sale people would have done when they required in desperation, it would have been a different size, right? And that's where I think everyone has got more trust in Indian markets today. And thanks to the regulators' sort of will that we will continue the market on at the same time as before.
On smooth terrain, and we wish you all the best. Thank you so much for giving us a heads up as to how things have been performing. That's a word from BSE. Well, on that note, we'll be winding it down. Do remember, we're celebrating our 11 years of ET Now as a channel. So do connect with us on Twitter. Tell us some of your favorite memories or any comments that you'd like to share. Thanks so much from the entire team for watching.